Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Misfits Racing League action. My name is Strifium here from Canada, and of course, joining me from Australia, my good man Seb. It is time for round 11 of this championship, and what a championship it has been. We come into France, my good man, and it's all down to Lucas Yan and Becky B coming into this one. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. The excitement is building, isn't it? 1 point between the two, 164 to Lucas Yan, 163 to Becky B. So, France, we've seen some brilliant races here in the past in a row, especially last season Tier 1, I believe. We could have another thriller here.
Yeah, France, it really has never failed to provide a boring race. It's always provided some really great excitement all the way back to season 2. I remember, of course, the Tier 1 division going through a rain race there, and we've already seen our little fair share of rain through in this division. In the Americas, we saw rain last night to kick things off in the Americas Tier 2. We'll have to see if that roll of the dice comes through here in the Tier 1 Americas chapter. And with that, of course, next week we'll be heading to Spain, following that Austria, Mexico, and then the finale in Brazil. It is going to be an extremely, very intense, of course, final chapter to this season 5, moving into round 15. And with that, let's take a look at the standings. You mentioned it already. Just 1 point is separating the championship battle between Mr. Lucas Yan and Becky B. Becky B, the reigning champion from Tier 1 last season. Lucas Yan looking to take the title away, and right now he is 1 point in front of Becky. DJ Spin, a little bit further down, of course, fighting a battle of his own with Karma Lesson and Microlander, with Rhapsody and Seajoss creeping in. On Hell Jacob, of course, Maxim B rounding out the top 10 there in the standings. Mercedes, Williams, and the Alpine squad, your top 3 in the constructors heading into round 11. But with that said, we are just about ready to go racing here for the Americas Tier 1 round 11 racing action in France. It is going to be the Circuit Paul Ricard around Le Castellet, and I am extremely excited for all of that.
Yeah, very excited. And you touched on how this circuit tends to bring along some great racing. Reason being, those 4 long straights. You have the DRS straight on the pit straight. That's turn 15 to turn 1. Then you have, obviously, turn 2 to turn 3 in sector 1. And you have that next straight, which is the long DRS straight, the longest straight on the track, turn 7 to turn 8, the minstrel straight, I believe. And then from turn 9 to turn 10, you just have a long run, which even extends to turn 11 in sector 3. So get a lot of drafting from these cars, a lot of juicing as well, and a lot of DRS, which leads to a lot of battles.
Definitely a lot of battling here we saw in the Americas Tier 2 division. Even in the wet conditions, there were far more battles than I had anticipated, to say the least. Waiting on, I think, one driver at the moment. Could very well be mistaken.
Well, we do have 17 full-time drivers attending and 4 people who have ticked reserves. We do have Mikau in here. So Mikau, Marco, and Sales are all the reserves for the evening. Marco will be in the Alfa Tauri, Sales will be in the Ferrari, and Mikau in that Haas with Seajoss.
Okay. Into short qualifying we go. It will be 18 minutes, as well as the official roll of the dice for the weather. And what do you want to see, Seb? What do you want to see? You want to see dry?
I want to see a wet quali. I want to see a wet quali and then a dry race. Wet quali brings in those variables. You know, you can see it get a bit heavier as time goes on, or maybe even see track illusion. I'm not going to get that, am I?
No,
But
I don't think
hopefully
you're
a dry
get
race. Not a cloud in sight by the looks of it.
You jinxed it, clearly.
Yeah, clearly my fault. I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Paul Ricard. It is the French Grand Prix for the 11th round of Season 5. We have the Americas Tier 1 division with us from top to bottom on the timing tower. We have Maxim B for Red Bull with Visha over at Aston Martin. It's Fluffy Dave for McLaren, of course, with CJOS at Haas. TJ for Aston Martin, as well as, of course, the reigning Tier 1 champion, Mr. Becky B for Williams. Sales for Ferrari, as you mentioned here, in a reserve capacity. On Hell over for the Red Bull squad. We have Microlander for Ferrari as well. Karma Lesson for Alpine. Siffy for the McLaren unit. And we have Pablo Benitez for Alpine as well. Jacob in the Alfa Romeo. Yaya Sanago for AlphaTauri. Mikau here in a reserve capacity, the Australian for Haas. Stoltz in the Alfa Romeo. And then we have Rhapsody for Mercedes. Gabriel Galagayos, which I do believe is Galaxy, and someone may correct me if I am wrong. And then we have Mr. Bautista Mateo there in the other Williams.
I don't see a Lucas Yancif.
That's critical. Absolutely critical.
I'm just trying to draw your attention back to Japan, where Becky B was disqualified, no fault of his own. Just unlucky with the game design and whatnot, but he has lost a race out to Lucas Yan, but yet still trails him by 1 point in the championship. Could this be that little balancer, I guess, in the championship if Lucas Yan does not turn up in the 16 minutes left that we have in qualifying?
Well, this is championship critical crunch time now. 5 rounds left, and should Becky B come through here and do some significant work, well, that would be one thing, to say the least. The first driver to begin a lap here in France, and pardon me for not getting on board with a driver sooner, is going to be Mr. CJOS, and he is, as his name would suggest, operating with no line this evening, sad.
Well, that's always a bit of a challenge when you get used to it, but it's easiest to get... Oh, no. Spoke too soon. Invalidates already. Looks like I've literally cursed half the drivers. First the weather, now CJOS. This could be a long evening.
I do believe the next available flyer on board now, Bautista Mateo, in the Williams. Mediums fit to the chassis as we fly down through into the 8-9.
Yeah, one of the overtakings, I see CJOS pulling out the way after his invalidation. Throttle down over those outside curbs now. He's getting a bit of a tow here from Mick, by the looks of it. This will be handy, but as time goes on in the session, the track will ramp up. There'll be a bit of track evolution, and time will be found later on in the session. And keep in mind, Mateo is on those medium tyres, so on those soft compounds, a lot of time to find. Heads off through the final sector now. 2 more corners to navigate the long, tedious left-hander of 14. Keep that car to the left. 415. Keep it tight, tight, tight. Now just slam that throttle down in 3rd gear. Wind your way up. Keep to the left for the shortest run to the line. And that's the first lap of the session.
Next up, we had Dave. 30.047. He's done that on the soft compound tires as Rhapsody follows through into 2nd position, a little bit further ahead than Mr. Bautista Mateo at 30.365 as Mikau begins a run in the other Haas, and he's already invalidated this push as Siffy comes through in the other McLaren at 29.916. He's done that on the mediums. Very competitive time there from Siffy early on.
Yeah, very good time. It puts him in some good stead. Just waiting for time to come down. TJ Spin makes a return after missing a fair few rounds. Currently just about to finish his lap. Pushes the line into P1. So that's showing the pace he does have. Maybe he can put up a challenge to Becky B tonight if Lucas Yan does not arrive at all. Lucas Yan would very much need that if that were to be the case.
going to be very, very interesting to see how all of these drivers fare, but everyone wanting to have their eyes on Becky B, but I don't know if he is going to be available to get this qualifying run in, as he does have that low fuel light on. He does appear to be pushing through 8 and 9. He does have one lap set on this tire.
Yeah, it looks like he may have had an invalidation somewhere, but it might have been very late in the lap. That's why he's absolutely chewed through the DRS. Maybe he's just trying to get back to the pits at the end of the day. That's why you see him draining the battery. Once you enter the pits, you do get it all back. So, in qualifying at least, or practice, as you see his lines aren't that good. From Becky B, the reigning champion. We'll see what he does. Yep, pulls into the pits. I think he would continue. That's evident by the lines he was taking through that final sector.
Not too much happening right now. Look on with Angel in the Red Bull. We'll see if he is able to get a lap through, or if he will be coming into the pit lane as well. And it looks like he will be showing lap. Let's see what he got. Brewing wide open.
Once again on those medium tyres, so he compares to the other runners. He's the second best of those medium runners, the 5 that we do have so far. So good signs for Angel.
Well, Mexican driver essentially wanting to do solid on the heels of a podium for Mr. Perez around home. And that medium run going very well here early on.
Well, interesting to see them go out on those medium tyres. You can do soft hard here and tend to favour track position a lot. But you don't know how that race pans out. An early safety car may change your position in this race, especially being on those medium tyres. It's very unlikely you get a safety car around here with how far the walls are away from the circuit itself and where they are positioned. But you still can get them nonetheless. It doesn't take too many broken front wings to get one as well, so it's all to play for at the moment.
Cedros pushing through out of turn 11 right now. Top 3 on the timing tower here at the halfway point. TJ spin a 29.638 for the Aston Martin. It sails right next to him at 29.708. And then we have Siffy running at the top 3. He did that on the mediums at 29.916. Presently on an outlap. Let's take a look now. Cedros pushing. Very solid run, 29.870. The other half of Mikau flying out of the pit lane in the rear view.
Mikau, one of those drivers, one of the 7 yet to set a lap time. Sorry, 8 yet to set a lap time. But we know how fast he can be. So just gotta wait and see how he fares against Becky B and TJ Spin. We see Sales up there reserving Ferrari. He's in P2 as you mentioned before, and Siffy on those medium tyres yet to do a soft run just yet. So a lot of players coming out.
30.365 from Rhapsody. Curious to see if he is pushing another lap right now.
Looks like it. 3/10 up in that first sector. Just trying to get.
So I
never understand. I never understand that. They pull out so far from the racing line. You normally just lose more time, and especially when TJ Spin's going that slowly on the straight compared to what you would be, you don't really gain any time from it. Doesn't make that much sense to do it. But I guess he's still up on his time. I feel like he'd be, I'd say, maybe a third of a tenth up more if he hadn't have pulled all the way left to get a slight straight line speed advantage.
Yeah, I think it'll remain unclear at the moment, but I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring with yours on that one. And unfortunately,
and he invalidates.
For him, yeah, that is a tough
That
one
was
there.
A rather lazy invalidation. He had the corner hooked up very well, and he just opened the steering angle and just let the car drift out wide. but it looked like it was fairly under control. Didn't look like there was any understeer from the Mercedes driver, but just let it wash out, and that's a lap gone right there.
Ziffy from 4th position, pushing right now on the soft compound tires. His best time set on the mediums, 29.916. Huge shout out to Mr. Becky B. Thank you very much for the tier 1. 5 months. Thank you. And good luck in your race. Mr. Jacob coming in hot with a 29.094. And well, the Alfa Romeo's Tholtz.
Right up there, eh? Oh, say hello to Siffy, though. He's got an answer for that. And it's so important, isn't it, that the Alfa Romeos get up there, because they lead the combined constructors at the moment by 46 points. So they haven't necessarily pulled their weight in America's Tier 1 division, but it's never too late to start, and that's a good sign so far for those two.
Absolutely. They spin on the move. I think he may have just dropped the lap as I switched on with him. Mikau, 28.754 from the Australian says hello.
There's a challenger.
What do you know that I don't?
Well, we know he's class. Very consistent driver. And, well, anything you can do, I can do better. Hello, Microlander. He's jumped himself up into P3, but you can't beat Mikau at the moment. Becky B, does he have an answer? I see you in him chat, Becky B. Mikau equals cracked. Well, we'll have to see. Becky B sitting in the mediums as he's in the pits. So I'm expecting him to go for that last run on the medium tyres. One shot quali. Well, with no Lucas Yan at the moment, doesn't look like he will join. Worth a shot.
Yeah, into P6 right now. Gabriel on the move as well on the softs in the partnering Alpha Tauri, looking to shoot into the top 10, the pair.
Gearbox just crossing the line. And he
Gabriel
jumps himself into P10.
Yeah, he gets it in there. Rhapsody, sole Mercedes driver this evening, and this is a major note because the other Mercedes driver that we are missing happens to be the championship leader by 1 point right now. Becky B, stationary, not doing a damn thing as the eye can tell, sitting in the pit lane, and the tip off, as you mentioned, one shot quali. We'll have to see. Currently, the clock is ticking. 4:15 on our clock here, coming into turn 8 with Mr. Rhapsody.
Bit of time on the board through turn 9. He could have just taken a bit more curb on the inside, but still 6/10 up, but not a massive improvement on what was his second run.
Turn 11. I have to say, probably my favorite turn in this entire circuit. Really providing some potential battle through there. And
well, it's a corner for the brave. You gotta really commit to it. You know, he's scared not to wash out too wide. You gotta be prepared to get the power down early, and even for an overtake, you have to have a lot of guts and trust to swing one around the outside in yourself, or swing one down the inside of the opposing driver you're making the move on. As Rhapsody, 29-1, 5th place. He'll need to get himself up there if he wants to help his teammate, which he has done very well throughout the season.
Lisha on the move in the Aston Martin now, coming out of turn 9. Not a very solid time representative on the board right now. Notably, moving on the mediums.
three drivers opting for the mediums at the moment. Pablo Benitez, Vischer, and Becky B. Becky B is out on track right now, so we have to keep an eye on the defending champion to see what he does.
I do believe a fill-in has arrived for Mr. Lucasien. Isha pushing P11 on the mediums.
Becky Bates has started his lap. He's gone through turn 1 and 2, had a bit of a moment through turn 2. He's like he's giving himself time though, in case he has a terrible lap, he can go again.
Eight, 9 coming up now. Critical exit needed here.
You see a purple middle sector. This is classy lap from Becky B. And you just see he still gets so much rotation, even on the medium tires. A bit of a kick out of turn 11. Got to fight the car through turn 12. A bit understeer, a bit worried on the exit. You see, he didn't use all that exit curb available to him. But he used a lot of that inside, but he's invalidated Striff. He's going to be careful because that might be this in next lap. We'll soon find out if it is this in next lap, but it is. His qualifying's over.
That's tough.
Becky B will be starting in P19.
That is tough. And any fans of Lucas Yan in this championship are going to be looking on very excited about this. And it's Suzuka, as you mentioned, all over again in a, well, in an element of reversal. However, Becky B's misfortune did come in that race, not necessarily in an absent. Oh, yes, indeed. $28,452. Mikau not going to have an answer to that.
Mikau invalidated his lap. Siffy as well. Michael Land's already finished. Jacobs in the pits. But Matteo is already out. Maxime B's the only one who looks like he's on a lap at the moment. And Angel.
Definitely been a wild qualifying. Separation on this grid very tight. All right, Maxim B now to the line. What's it gonna be? Good for third here so far. Does anybody contest that? Gabriel following along. Karma Lesson goes P3. Gabriel finishing 13th position here, and I do believe that will wrap up the session. TJ Spin, Mikau, Karma Lesson, our top three after 18 minutes.
What a great lap from TJ Spin. It's a great way to make a comeback here. And big surprise, Becky B. Invalidating at the second last corner, invalidating both that current run in his next lap, and he didn't get that lap out, and he will be starting dead last next to, I believe that is some idiot there.
Yeah, Mr. Cody Lawrence filling in for Lucas Yan now. And I'd have to say he's a fitting reserve driver He is extraordinarily capable. We've seen it before in his reserve capacity in the division. And with that said, we'll have a job. And very well provide a little bit of a headache to our reigning champion in Becky B. We take a look now, of course, at the qualifying. Once again, Mr. TJ Spin, the Aston Martin pole position, 28.452. Congratulations to him for the fantastic lap. And of course, Mikkel will start 3/10 shy on the front row beside him. We have Mr. Carmelesson in the Alpine to round out the top three heading into formation. Wow. It is a very, very, very stacked grid this evening, Seb. And I could not be more excited to kick off the last leg of the season, as well as we are here now for round 11 out of 15 here for season 5 of the MRL. My name is Stryfium. Joining me is Seb. We're here, Circuit Paul Ricard. It's the French Grand Prix.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Stryfium. I kind of hope Becky B doesn't have an amazing race because I do want this championship to be dead tight the whole way through. So we'll see what happens. Don't wish the worst luck for him, but maybe just if he just could just slow down.
You just want him in
for the
P10.
sake of the championship.
You just want him in P10.
I just want that championship to be level head, neck and neck going into the final 4 rounds. If we could have them just trading blows for the next 3 rounds after that, and then we have just that finale in Brazil. I believe it's Brazil. Then
it is
that would
Brazil.
be absolutely amazing. Thank you for confirming that with me.
Not a problem, my good man. Now, of course, we come into formation. We take a look at this grid. We take a look at the strategies unfolding in the back 10, and there is a strategy in the back 10. You can see already differential unfolding there. 3 drivers opting for hards. They are Visha, Pablo Benitez, and, well, Mr. Becky B. Very interesting to see that, of course. And we have in the top 10, well, why don't you take us through the grid lineup for the race, Seb?
Well, TJ Spin chucks it on pole after coming back from a bit of a hiatus. He challenged Becky B and Lucas Yan beforehand, but obviously missing those races, he can't see himself up the championship order. Mikkel reserving from Australia. We know him very well. He's in P2 with Carmelesson in P3. We've seen him in these positions before. Maxime B, a surprise for P4, but a great lap from him. Sees himself in that Red Bull, in that second row with Siffy behind him in the McLaren. Microlander in P6 with the Alfa Romeo of Jacob in P7, and Rapsy will be starting alongside him in the Mercedes. Crucial, Rapsy gets some good points here in front of Becky B. Make sure he minimises that damage Becky B does in the championship. Sal's reserving in the Ferrari in P9. He starts from row 5 alongside Feltz in the softs, and that's the last of our soft runners. With Batista Mateo, Yaya Sanego in the 6th row. Yaya Sanego's teammate, Gabox G, or Gabriel, in the Alpha Tauri, starting on the mediums. Fisher starts alongside Gabox G on the hards with Sejos in the other Haas, alongside Mickey out in the mediums with Fluffy Dave in P16. Arnhill in the Red Bull all the way down in P17 next to Pablo Benitez on the hards. Becky B on the back row with some idiot hards and mediums, A bit of a switch between these 2 compounds in the bottom 10, Drew.
Definitely. Curious to see how they pan out here early on against the softs, and at what point those softs will kind of teeter out of favor. Come into TJ Spin now, taking position on the grid. The Aston Martin, Mikkel lined up looking at him. Carmelesson there as well, and these drivers all taking position on the grid now. Cody Lawrence is here right on the rear of Becky B. The championship runner-up presently sitting in, well, 19th position. 4 or 5 red lights here in France. The engines are revving. Things have gone dark, and it's a horrible start for TJ Spin. He is under fire. Carmelesson, what a launch. Already in the lead of this race, there's contact. Mikkel, a slight tap. Was that Mikkel? There's contact.
Oh,
that is huge. That is massive, and that was Mikkel.
Becky B into P14. Mikkel was just a bowling ball throughout turn 1 and 2. Got turned in on by Maxim B and then just couldn't do anything about those 3 wide situation through turn 2. So unfortunate for the Haas driver. He'll have some ground to make up along with Microlander.
Yeah, Santa go ahead of Angel. Gabriel has had contact of some degree here, or at the very least a snap, as CEST is on the rear of him. Becky B has made up 5 positions into 14th now, as Angel is still fighting here in the midfield. Yeah, holding on to 10th right now, ahead of the Mexican driver. Becky B looking for more position. He's looking now for the Haas of CEST around the outside of turn 10. Nothing doing just yet.
He knows this is 3 points today with no Lucas Yan. He doesn't need to do anything too risky. He just needs to get himself up there and get some decent points for himself and the Williams crew.
Gabriel's had contact with Angel. He's gone round. That is the Alfa Tauri to the back of the grid, and there goes Mikhail. Wow. Things have really not gone well for some of these racers here on the opening lap. TJ Spin will finish the opening lap in 4th position, hunting down Siffy. He started this race on pole.
Yeah, that terrible launch kind of set up that, turn 1 and 2 incident in those 3 cars. Becky B up 6 positions. Angel also up 6 positions. Biggest losers obviously Microlander and Mick out, down 11 and 17 positions. TJ Spin, another one of those losers, down 3 obviously with his terrible start. But 3 positions for Carmelissa, Maxim B and Siffy, who are currently our podium sitters, a lap and a half of the way through our 27 lap race around Paul Ricard.
TJ Spin looking at Siffy right now, but Cody's going to pull the trigger on Dave first on the inside of 8. There goes the Mercedes. And he will take that position, try to follow through with Becky. Becky hunting down CEST now, putting some battery into use, and he will push through on the inside as we come into turn 10. A little bit of a hold
important
here.
He fires. Yeah, so important he fires up those hard tires, because once you get them going, they're still not faster than mediums and softs. Obviously, a harder compound tire. They're supposed to last longer, not be the fastest and most grippiest of the 3 compounds available to these drivers, but it's important he doesn't lose too much time by trying to get those tires fired up and taking too long.
Microlander around the outside of Pablo Benitez as we come out of 15. That's a huge move coming out of the Ferrari on the softs right now. DRS has been enabled. You can see Pablo wanting to try and get an opportunity back on him, but there just wasn't enough there to get it done.
It's true. If we have a massive train from P1 to P19, an absolutely massive train.
The soft runners at this moment in Microlander and Mikhail have a very, very small window, Seb, to do something about this as Visha gets unsettled. Coming through turn 6. Heavily exposed to Mick. Wheel to wheel.
Oh, yep. Nice move from Mick out. Vischer on the hards has no reply to that, doesn't he? And as you were saying, they've got about 2 more laps before those soft tires really start losing pace to the medium runners. But DRS will be of a little help to them. We've got a bit of fighting right now between Microlander and Fluffy Dave as they round through the final sector. Microlander around the outside of the McLaren. And we'll get that move done through turn 12. Good battling between the pair.
Carmelas and Maxim B. Siffy, the top 3 right now after 3. Carmelas pushing through into lap 4 right now as TJ Spin looking to get himself back into the potential podium paying positions after having a what we'll classify as a poor start to this race.
It's very interesting as Carmelas and Maxim B both have around 30% ERS. Siffy, TJ Spin both around 80 to 90%. So they're just saving up the ERS, maybe trying to have a big go at these 2, or maybe even an overcut / undercut opportunity come pit stop time.
You really love to see a tight formation in this division here on the 11th round. And TJ spin right now. Siffy, you can see on board with Jacob how close they are following through that 10th turn right now. Mateo, Angel through on the inside.
Yeah, straightforward move. You normally see moves on the run from turn 9 to turn 11. Such a long stretch of straight or flat out section that you can surprise, your competitors if you have that ERS to play with and you catch them napping, as Angel has done there. Got a good exit out of turn 9, and Becky B's in this now. He's got those hard tires going. He's caught up to this group. And he's got a chance of getting some moves done, but keep in mind he has had to use a bit of that ERS to stay in contention.
Fastest lap coming out of a medium runner in Yaya Sanagoat now. Seajoss Microlander. What's happened here? Seajoss is looking the wrong way, coming through turns 1 and 2. Yellow flag is being waved in that section of circuit, and that is just not where you want to be finding yourself if you are Seajoss.
Right now, it's such a struggle for Siffy. Oh, TJ Spin's got a good run in him, but it's such a struggle for Siffy to get by Maxime B's. These two are weaving down that back straight. But Maxime B has just got that DRS assistance from Karma, and he's not faster than Karma, so he can't make a move done, but he gets the assistance from DRS and gives him a fair bit of help. But this could be a move here from TJ Spin, but Siffy's answered with the ERS that he has at his disposal. You'll see how tight they get through this final sector. As Maxime B's having a look striff down the inside into turn 11. Ooh. Nice respect from the Alpine driver, giving a bit of space at the apex to make the corner.
Siffy's so tight to the rear of that Red Bull right now. You love to see tight fighting like this, and there's the first pit stop, and that is an undercut. That's a huge undercut.
He should go straight onto the hards, and that should be the only pit stop for the race. Going to be tough for him though. He does have to get the tyres fired up. I think he will lose out to these three drivers that were behind him if they were to pit this lap, but he does have the advantage of getting that extra lap to warm up those hard tyres, Striff.
Well, the pit stop coming out of Karma Lesson. What do you do in this field of soft runners?
Oh, you see Siffy go wide there. I think you have to pit. Answer, TJ Spin should get the move on Siffy here. Siffy's terrible run is left him vulnerable, but look at the straight line speed he has on him.
Yeah,
and a bit of help from Maxime B.
Really there to hold him off, and he will. Neatly done. Critical.
I will say this is some great patience from TJ Spin to not throw all caution to the wind and go for the move right now. It's only lap 6. He's realised that. Siffy's all over the back of Maxime B. Look at this.
In the inside of turn 11 right now, there goes Siffy. The McLaren pulls the trigger.
What I say, Striff, it's the corner for the brave. And he was very brave there. Got the move done. Move Siffy.
Very nice. Very nice stuff. And Maxim B takes that as a cue to pit. Tholtz is in. Siffy, TJ, Jacob, your top 3 after 6. As we now have had a few drivers come in. Tholtz, Maxim B, and Karma Lesson. Fluffy Dave and Pablo Benitez wheel to wheel through turns 1 and 2. A little bit of contact there. Dave getting unsettled after that. Dropping a position to Visha as well. Pablo essentially picking up a little bit of karma there after his exchange. 3-second time penalty for his troubles. He'd be into 8th position, really charging through this field, and just in front there's some traffic, fighting, sales. Yeah, Sanagoat, Angel bunched up in this. Becky B is on the charge.
You can see him having a look. He just thinks better of it. He doesn't have the ERS to play with either to make that move, and all that battling. Oh, look at Angel getting into it, Striff. Oh, how about that? Surprised he's still staying out. He had a good move on Siffy before, but these two not wanting to pit just yet. They might be trying a soft medium here, although extremely hard to do. Very unlikely to make it work. Well, they could just be vying out for that safety car, but you never know. Like I said before, very hard to get one, as Vischer picks up a 3-second time, but he's the second driver with a penalty this race. Yeah, I think he'd have to give that position anyway. They're battling into the corner. Lawrence kind of backed out of it, but nevertheless, if you go wide when you're battling, you should have to give that position to the driver you were battling, regardless if you were defending or attacking. I definitely don't think this is the right play for Siffy. He's been really struggling on these tires. You see, he's been put under pressure by Sanago, even into the end of the first sector, turn 3, 4, and 5. That's how much he's been struggling. Rhapsody's had some decent pace. You know, I can understand Rhapsody staying out because he's been relatively consistent through this first stint, but Siffy has dropped off so much. You see Sanago at Swift. Look at him, he's all over the back of him. He'll get this move done easy.
This is, well, the DRS for Siffy might just give him enough. Here we go. Here we go now. Ooh, yeah, lunge through on the inside of 8. Gets it done. Very neat move there. Rhapsody gets loose. Yeah, I might get the run here.
Oh, you see Arnhell in the background. Bit out of shape on the inside of Siffy's left-hand tyre. Oh, Becky B's going for the move. He's going around.
This is not good for Becky B. We have cars coming through. You can see how far off Becky B went. Vischer now right on the rear of Becky B. Siffy on hell now into third position. Siffy dropping on these softs. Surely the call is to pit, and he does on the rear of Rhapsody.
Oh my, Becky B went for the move down the inside of Arnhell and just understeered into the Red Bull. All that good ground he had gained throughout the race, and it's all gone back to nothing. He's got some work cut out for him.
Yeah, has just picked up 3 seconds.
Interesting enough, Rhapsody, mediums, Siffy, mediums, TJ Spin on the mediums as well.
Fails a 132.6. Fastest lap of the campaign. TJ Spin on the rear, Karma Lesson. 4-lap old hards for Karma Lesson.
This is for the provisional race lead here. And you see Karma Lesson is blinking, so he's done everything to keep that Aston Martin behind throughout that pit stop phase, and I don't think it's going to come to fruition because his race may be at the end, so I think he may need that ERS at this stage to keep within DRS range when TJ Spin overtakes him, but He's going for it, Striff.
Inside of 11, he gets it done. Very neat move there. There wasn't a lot that Karma could do.
Yeah, Karma's got to drive out of his mind at the moment. Mediums are a much better tyre than the hards, because she's a race tyre, let alone a one-lap tyre. And just see how much he pulls on him. It's important. Karma does have DRS here, but he can't really drop, I'd say, past 8.5 tenths. Otherwise, that's a good sign that TJ Spin is a fair bit faster than him and can pull that gap on him. That 1 second gap, that's so crucial. You see it just goes up and up. TJ Spin is juicing right now. He's on the back of CJOS at the same time as well.
Here goes on Helen. Yeah, dropping to the Mexican racer as he pushes through in that Red Bull into lead of this race. Cody Lawrence is there as well.
I don't think Carmelson has DRS and he doesn't. TJ's been put in a great first sector, and that's seen him pull out of the DRS range of Karma and gets the move done on CEST as well, for good measure.
You love to see this much action in France, don't you? There really is a ton to see. We're on lap 11 of 27, soon to be lap 12.
Yeah, this is great racing from these guys. Not many bad incidents so far, barring turn 1. And that little mistake Becky B had running to the side of Angel. We've been pretty clean so far, and it's good to see. You just see these guys at the front just weaving down the straight, trying to break whatever toe is coming of it.
Isha dropping to Becky B. And I'm unclear if there was an issue there. Or if...
I didn't get a good look of it, to be honest with you. Look at them weave down that straight. You see that so often as well. Trying to break the slipstream. Oh, look at that run that Lawrence has, Striff.
Yeah, right now holding him just ever so tightly.
See Bomateo in the DRS as well. If these guys fight, we'll start getting their elbows out. They are fighting right now, but if they get their elbows out, Bomateo could very much be part of this 3-car battle.
These penalties are really costly at the end of a race, you know. You can see the 3-second time penalties for 6 drivers on grid. Yeah, Batista, Bisha, Pablo Benitez, Gabriel, and Mike Lander.
I'm going to point out, TJ Spin has a 3.2 second gap on what is provisional P2. The provisional race leader is putting in some strong times at the moment. Is Mikau, uncharacteristically, gets a 3-second time penalty. Hasn't been a good race for him though, so doesn't mean he's out of it, but it just means that if he wants some decent points, he has to work hard for it.
Yeah, there's always opportunities here. Farmer lesson and CEST exchange for 10.
Karma finally gets that move done, and CEST is not only going to get overtaken by the Alpine, but Maxime B as well. Ooh.
Bit of a tangle there.
Bit nervy, eh? Oh, Sales is around.
That is not good
Same.
at all.
Same styles as Becky B. He's just able to hold it a bit better. It was later in the corner, so it doesn't wash out as far, but that could have been very disastrous for the Ferrari driver, and there's ensuing cars that come behind him. Boateng and Becky B have pit at the same time.
That is not good. No way.
My oh my, what is happening down at Williams?
That is just unbelievable. That was a very, very big mistake.
That's on Becky B's part right there. Boateng, I understand Boateng is not fighting for the championship, but he is ahead on track, so...
Yeah, I mean, there is an indicator when the teammate does enter. I don't know what to say about that, to be very honest. A tough situation to find oneself in, no doubt.
Yeah, that's the only thing I expect. Waffle in chat, Becky didn't expect him to pit. That's the only thing I can think of. He just didn't get that message or didn't see him on the track map.
Oh, very daring with CEST, excuse me, and sorry for the interruption. Through turn 8, he was looking, but he just didn't have enough to get the move through into turn 9.
See, Maxime B is applying a lot of pressure on Carmelesson at the moment. Maxime B is having a stellar drive striff. I'll be honest with you. He hasn't got a podium to his name. He sits P10 in the championship, 3 points off of Jacob, who is just behind him on track. But he is on for a great podium run at the moment. He's applying some great pressure to the Alpine driver just ahead. As Pablo Benitez pits from what was P3.
Old CEST in exchange here as CEST begins to drop massively. Tires really not giving him any good opportunities right now.
We have a question in chat. Can Becky B still get points? And I'm of the opinion at the moment that I don't think he can. If you think about it, you know, you got 5 cars to pit. That'd still come out in front of him, you know, and he's still got about a 8 or so second gap to his teammate, who was sitting, or who is currently sitting, I'd say, provisional P10-ish. So,
oh, Rhapsody Tholtz. There's some wheel-to-wheel action resulting in some drama. 8-9 wheel-to-wheel between the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes. Rhapsody and Tholtz get tangled. Tholtz round.
Well, if drivers keep tangling with each other, like we've seen at turn 11, like we just saw at turn 8 and 9, then this will make Becky B's job to get at least a point a lot easier. So crucial that the Williams driver puts in some very clean laps and just consistent laps to catch up to the pack. In a way, as Vischer pits from P3, TJ Spin, provisional race leader, moves up to P4 and so on and so forth. But surprisingly, those medium runners yet to pit, so my assumption is those medium guys at the front will be pitting for some softs later on in this race in the next 3 laps.
Well, if it works, why not? If that is the right call.
Well, they've made those mediums last a long time, and they've done a good job of it as well. I'm expecting to come out around where Microlander is at this stage. Let's just switch over the gaps. Yeah, Microlander would be around the spot, I believe, where they'd come out. Soft tires with, you know, the benefit of the soft tires over older mediums and hards. They've got about a 5-lap window if they were to pit on lap, I'd say 18 or 19 to make them work, and then just manage them at the end to make sure you're not sliding all over the place. CEST so kindly letting Mick out by.
I thought Maxime B might take an opportunity to send it with Carmelesson, and here come the medium runners of Mr. Cody Lawrence and Angel.
They've gone in a lot earlier than I've thought they would. Both onto the softs, as predicted. I got to do a bit of time management here for the Mercedes and the Red Bull driver. It looks like the Mercedes has jumped the Red Bull in the pits.
That's critical.
And keep in mind that the combined constructors are still to play for. Top four separated by 109 points, with Williams in fourth, 710, Mercedes 751 in third, Red Bull 773, and Alfa Romeo 819. You know, these are all important points as we are in the final third of the season.
And be putting the pressure on Carmelesson. No
He's
moves
being ultra
yet.
patient. I wonder Swift if he's going for a last lap move or something, because he's being ultra patient. He's not going for anything drastic, or maybe he's just want to settle for that podium. Maybe that's what he wants. Hasn't got that podium, as I've stated before. It'd be a great result for the Red Bull driver.
A lot of exchanging happening right now. A lot of different tire strategies unfolding in this grid on the 17th, soon to be 18th lap of racing. Yeah, into the pit lane to get off of the mediums. TJ Spin off to a significant lead of this race.
Yeah, TJ Spin can just check out, look after those tires. 7.6 seconds. This is massive a gap as Mikau is getting overtaken by Angel into turn one, and well, he spun around as well. It's not been the Australians' day today. Great qualifying for him in P2, then obviously that turn one incident. So him drop down the order, try to have a comeback drive, but another spin will see him definitely out of the points now, and Becky B gets a free position to maybe see himself into the points.
A lot of action happening here as Carmelesson and Maxim B exchange sales. Drops to not one but two drivers here as Bautista Mateo and Cody Lawrence push through. There goes Angel as well. Carmelesson and Siffy. There's an exchange between the McLaren and the Alpine. Now Siffy back into the provisional podium. He's not looking just for third, he's looking for second as well.
Whoa, Striff, if we have a late safety car, TJ Spins has got a time penalty.
Yeah, 3 seconds to the race leader.
He doesn't need a push. I don't understand that. He's got it's now 8.4 seconds, nearly 8.5. He's gone on pushing, he's done himself a time penalty, which, as I said, safety car, that's a massive risk he's taking right there.
Here goes Siffy. Looking to the inside of Maxim B as we come into turn one. Not a lot of options to defend right now for Maxim B. Siffy gets the position. Carmelesson now also sitting in on this battle.
These front runners need to be careful not to battle too much, because they got to keep in mind Cody Lawrence, also some idiot, and Angel on those soft tires behind in the Mercedes and Red Bull are gaining rapidly. They're already in DRS range from one corner. That was 210s within one corner, and they have DRS, the pair of them.
Jacob Karma about to engage in some fighting here as we come into 8-9. Karma. Ooh, Jacob a little deep there. Carmelesson picks up 3 seconds. Pablo Benitez, Becky B, and Mike Erlander, the trio, all fighting right now as Mike Erlander is leading them. Here goes Becky B. My, oh my, Mike Erlander has the middle line through. Becky B gets 2 on the inside as we come through turn 10.
I know that doesn't seem like much, but put that to music. Mike Erlander's gone for it as well, Striff. They're not done yet. Mike Erlander, they've touched basically around. Mike Erlander's up the track, and there's opened the door for Pablo Benitez going around the outside. He's having a look. He's having a squeeze, Striff. He's using a bit of that ERS through turn 13 around the 14, but Becky B prevails. Hairy between the three, fighting for P12. Good for him. Becky B's all over the place.
That was a massive battle right there, and he is in point striking position right now as we say it. Cody Lawrence Rhapsody. Batista Mateo picks up 3 seconds to add to now his total 16 seconds.
Three positions right there. Becky B looks like he will get. Oh, he's got to gain 2 seconds in the space of 7.5 laps. Sorry, I think he can get it done. Mateo drops 2 positions to Sal. Yes, Yaya Sanego who are fighting.
This is
3, 8,
critical for
9.
Becky. Absolutely critical that these guys continue to fight in this manner.
But he's also got to try and get out of this fight with the Alpine and Ferrari. If he wants a point to tie the championship, this could be working out the way I
on
want.
the inside of Rhapsody right now. Angel gets Rhapsody through turn 11 on the inside. The Red Bull looking to charge and follow through to maybe dispatch his teammate for the evening in Mr. Cody Lawrence.
This is true. If this could be working out the way I was talking about before we were even broadcasting. If Becky P were to get that 1 point.
I don't want to even think about it yet. Let's just keep watching the race.
7 laps to go. And what has been a rather up and down thrilling race for these 20 drivers. No retirements and no safety cars.
I am not sure what just happened, but there was some kind of issue. That was very interesting to see.
And now Rhapsody has lost DRS to Angel and Lawrence, so he's not going to be dragged along here. Vulnerable to come lesson who will get by around the outside. And see Josh retires in the pit lane. It's been a great day for the Haas team in general.
Account Tholtz exchange right now, but Max MB under threat from Cody Lawrence. Cody Lawrence looking for it through 11. Rhapsody's had an issue where he has gone quite wide through turn 10. Back to Angel, who is also on the same tires as Mr. Cody Lawrence.
Maxime's podium slipping away. But Siffy's time penalty will definitely come into play here. Just a question of can the Red Bull driver hold on. But nevertheless, the Red Bulls are getting some very good points here. Very good points.
Three-second time penalty for Visha. Cody Lawrence sitting on the rear of Max MB. Jacob in third position right now has a pair of drivers fighting behind him. Max MB looking for a move around the outside. That was very daring. Does he get this? It's wheel to wheel right now. Cody Lawrence has the front row seat. He's looking for slipstream on the rear of the Red Bull. Max MB looking for the Alfa Romeo. Angel is there as well. The pair of Red Bulls doing a lot of work. Cody Lawrence wheel to wheel with Max MB as we come through turn 10. Oh my, Cody Lawrence on the inside now of turn 11. You can see Angel. Oh, Angel getting a little bit tangled up with Max MB there.
You see, Lawrence had all the straight line speed in the world. He nearly tangled with Maxime B and Jacob through turn 10, but kept it clean and had a rather nice move through turn 11. I wouldn't be surprised to see Maxime B let Angel through here. I'll not put up too much of a fight, but Lawrence will get that move done on Jacob into turn 1.
So now Cody Lawrence into third position here in that reserve position for Mercedes today, filling in for who would be Lucas Yan, our championship leader. Now Jacob, 15 lap old hards for him. Do these hards come back in his favor versus the softs towards the end of this race here, Seb?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like Lawrence is driving extremely smoothly. He's obviously preserving the integrity of those soft compound tyres, but I think at some point in those final lap or two, the tyres will be relatively similar. It's just whether Jacob can stay in that DRS range while Lawrence tries to pull away while also trying to be as smooth as possible. Angel's looking for a move in his teammate here.
This is daring. This is tight. There is a tire differential between the pair. Softs for Angel. And it doesn't appear Team Horrors are in question right now, as Gabriel takes the fastest lap of 1:30.834.
Look at Becky B. He's got a chance at a point here. He'll beat Pablo Benitez, who has a 16 time penalty. His teammate, Mateo, P9 has 16 seconds to his name. He'll easily beat him. It's just whether a question of can he keep within 3 seconds of Sales, the reserve who sits in P10 with a 3 second to his name.
He's really been sitting with Pablo for some time. Rhapsody there as well. Isha with an issue. No visible damage for the Aston Martin. Speaking of Pablo and Becky. Yeah, and Maxim have had an exchange, but Becky looking at Pablo. It's nearly 3 abreast here as we come through into turn 8. It's 3 wide. This is not good. That's Rhapsody. That's Becky B. And that was also Pablo Benitez.
That's 3 into 1 where 2 barely even works. Had the outside car turned.
That is drama.
Oh, it's a point gone in my book. I didn't think Becky B needed to go for that, but he went for it nonetheless. I don't blame him for going for it though. He had the inside line. It is his corner. He does not deserve to be turned in on like that.
I don't know what to say. I don't know how you saw it, but I didn't have the best angle of it on my side.
What it looked like was, I believe the outside car, which was Rhapsody, turned in on the inside car, which was Pablo Benitez, which pushed Becky B into those two, and that is what saw Becky B and Pablo Benitez go around. It's just I don't know who the outside car was, but they were in no right to turn across that middle car, which inevitably pushed himself into Becky B, and that saw Becky B just spin across the front of whoever that middle car was. Had no right. The inside line reigned supreme. And there's a reason why. It's because they get to dictate the corner. It's very interesting incident. You're going to need multiple angles for it. I only had Becky B's angle for it, but from what I saw, the outside car turned in on the middle car, which in turn pushed Becky B, who was ahead of both the pair of them.
Well, it's extremely unfortunate to see in any case. We're on lap 25. Cody Lawrence has dispatched Siffy for second position. Yeah. Fighting with Maxim B.
Yeah, he had to back out there. Tough corners to go side by side for so long as Siffy and Jacob are exchanging positions. This is heating up in the final 2 laps, Striff.
Oh yeah, that's what you love to see.
Wow, look at the McLaren and the Alfa. Romeo goes side by side down this main straight, giving each other barely an inch. Oh, look how close they get. Into turn 1, Jacob just about turning across Siffy, but giving the respect. And look at Siffy going for the switch pass, Striff.
Oh, that's just lovely stuff. Lovely battling there. A little deep, a little wide there for Jacob. Really opening a potential door for Siffy. Angel watching along for all of it. The penultimate lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen.
Siffy's not really in this. Angel wants to get him now. He'll have a shot at Jacob for a podium position here.
A very unlikely podium it will be in any case, given some of the starting positions that we have seen.
These guys both have no ERS to play with. Absolutely none. So important now they stay tight to each other for that all-important back straight DRS as my game has crashed.
And I am afraid to say I do believe mine has as well.
Well, that is a great timing right there. I'm trying to get it as fast as possible. We should be able to get at least the last sector, I hope.
EA Sports in the game.
Lovely game crashes as I'm loading back in. I'm not sure if you have, but I'll let you know what's happening. Unable to get Jacob by the looks of it. So by the looks of it, TJ Spin will win this race. He's just running through turn 11 at the moment. Cody Lawrence in P2 in the Mercedes, a great drive from him. Jacob in P3. Arnell P4, unable to get the moves done, but Maxime B all over the rear end of Siffy, who's gone wide at turn 11. It's opened the door for Maxime B to make a move, and Maxime B has just snatched P5 from the McLaren driver here.
TJ Spin coming out of the final turn is going to take the win. Cody Lawrence under threat from Jacob right now for second position. Rear wing wide open. Battery utilization. He is going to cross the line just in front of Cody Lawrence. Less than a tenth in separation.
Wow.
Solid finish there between Jacob and Cody Lawrence to the line. A lot of speed coming out of Jacob just to get him. And that is a solid finish there for the Alfa Romeo. And for Cody Lawrence as well, considering Cody Lawrence starting in the absolute last position on this grid.
Oh, I want to give him driver of the day, but TJ Spin drove perfectly. I'd still give it to Cody Lawrence though, starting from last to get yourself a podium. That's a rather great result right there for the Mercedes crew. And well, we have no change at the top of the standings for the Drivers' Championship, don't we? Becky B not scoring a single point with Lucas Yen out of the race.
No, and TJ Spin with a win really closes his gap to potentially enter that championship later on. If you have Becky B and Lucas Yen having unfortunate performances where you have either Lucas Yen or Becky miss races, or if you see potentially issues unfold like today, who knows, maybe TJ sneaks back in. But of course he had attendance hurt his opportunities as well. So we will now have 4 rounds remaining for this championship, and it is still 1 point separating Lucas Yen and Becky B. But enough about that. It's all about TJ Spin tonight with the win in the Aston Martin. Jacob from 7th to 2nd for Alfa Romeo, and Mr. Cody Lawrence from 20th to 3rd for Mercedes. What a race it was, Seb. What drama late in the end there. And of course, big shout out to everybody that joined us for all of the action here tonight on Twitch. Of course, massive shout out to Becky B, and we're going to get interviews with a couple of our racers here in just a few moments' time.
Yeah, fascinating race. A lot of ups and downs, and we saw the action. That's what the long straights, those 4 long straights that France provide you, along with those DRS zones and that run from turn 9 to turn 11. It's just good racing. We did see some instances there, unfortunate for some drivers, but it's just the way it goes sometimes.
Well, let's see who we have available now for an interview as we wrap up racing action there. Have any? First up, we are going to be talking to Mr. Cody Lawrence, of course, driving in reserve this evening. How are you feeling after that race? 20th position starting this one, a late call to join, and you are here with us with a podium. And, well, a very good fight to the end, I have to say, as well.
There's some positives and there's some negatives I can take out of that. Actually, it might if I start slightly different and ask you a question.
Absolutely.
How bad was my internet on stream?
I didn't pick
It wasn't
up
that bad. You were fine.
'Cause
Yeah.
I just want to take the moment and say I apologize to Mateo and Carmelessa because I'm pretty sure I killed both of them during that race. So sorry to both of you. My internet was terrible tonight. But that's the negatives out of the way. Let's say I take any I take any fault if they report anything because I feel terrible. I'm pretty sure I killed both of them at some point. But the positives, hey, P20 to P3. I'm not sure if Jacob got me at the line. I haven't looked back at it yet. If he got me, he got me. I thought I was still ahead at the line. I don't know. But yeah, I usually I feel a bit more happy after these, but I'm just angry at my internet tonight, truth be told. I wish I was a little bit more positive. I apologize. I wish I was a bit more positive, but I feel like I killed 2 people tonight, and I feel terrible for that, truthfully.
Well, greatly appreciate you saying that, and it was a very solid race. There was a lot in that race, to be fair. Not everything that Seb and I could catch, at the very least, on our end. There was so much position exchanging through here in France, and it's not necessarily what you'd expect from a circuit known to have its trains, but we had multiple trains, multiple exchanges, and of course, with you had an absolute charge through this field in the end from 20th position to get yourself onto the podium here in a reserve capacity for a driver who was leading this championship. Now, as a reserve driver coming into this, fighting against these guys, how does this make you feel moving ahead to potentially reserve in other races? Or is it something, of course, you've been reserving in this grid now for some time? What's your objective coming into those races, just out of curiosity? Your objective just to drive your race, or do you come in with the specific intention to, let's say, fight some of those guys, hold them up a bit through the grid? What is your game plan coming into the races?
That's a genuinely good question. That's something we could talk about for 30 minutes to an hour, say on a podcast, for example. But to answer your question as quickly as I could, as quickly as I can, pardon me. I wasn't even preparing to race tonight, truth be told. I was preparing to engineer Fluffy Dave. He's been one of my good friends. Actually, I'll take a second and say that man taught me a lot of what I know, a lot of how I race. I try to race cleanly, a lot of what I am today. So I wanted to repay that. That's what I was planning to do tonight. And then I saw you guys had an open car. I got back. I literally was running back for my university. And with like 5 minutes left, I booted up my PC. It took forever. That's why I didn't even get a chance. I was actually going to do a lap in qualifying, but my PC said no dice to that. But the grid's awesome. The grid's really awesome. I'd love to drive in it more. This was just a absolute fortunate one-off tonight. I wasn't even prepared to drive. I had a setup laying around. I'd done a little bit of France high fuel running, so I felt good on the medium soft. Wear was a lot higher than I was expecting. A few objectives I wanted to test, but to quit my rambling, grid's awesome. But I wasn't even planning on racing tonight, but that was genuinely fun. I just feel terrible for the incidents that I think I caused. But there's a lot of objectives. There's a lot more I could talk about, but I don't want to spend 30 minutes rambling, unfortunately.
Well, thank you very much, of course, Cody, for taking the time to interview nonetheless. Thank you for, of course, taking the time to race with us and filling that empty slot. And, well, congratulations once again, and we'll see you in races in the future.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Mr. Cody Lawrence. Now joining us is going to be our second position finisher this evening. It is going to be Jacob, the Alfa Romeo driver. Jacob, welcome to the commentary booth. Welcome. Second position here in France for you. How are you feeling after that one?
Oh my god, dude. I'm like still shaking. That was probably my craziest league race that's ever happened. What's even crazier is I just switched out my pedals because I was using regular G29 pedals and they were giving me a lot of false inputs. So I got my first load cell kit. I got the Trustmaster TLCM, and fun fact, I've never left foot braked before like last week. So this is my first race with these pedals while left foot braking, and honestly, it felt just amazing. A lot of the race, I was in a train, and I knew that I just had to watch and just get past people as soon as I could. I think Max and B, Carmeles, and I got past them quick, and then started getting some fresh air and took some pace. So it was a great race. So I'm very happy for the result.
Well, it was a solid race from you, getting solid positions, getting yourself into a podium, an absolute drag race to the line with Cody. That was beautiful to see you get that P2 just shy of a tenth in the separation at the line there. It was just awesome. And of course, now you coming in, taking a second position, you taking a podium. How does this make you feel moving ahead in the championship? Because of course, Alfa Romeo in the combined constructors is in a serious championship battle as well. And this today really going to push you forward in that championship fight.
Yeah, no, I completely agree that I'm so happy that it helped us get the points we need. I definitely think that it's nice for me too, just in the drivers' championship, because I feel like as we've been progressing through this season, I've definitely been learning more. I know the first couple races I was a little sloppy, but I think that now I've really got my pace down and my consistency, which I think is the most important thing. And so just getting these points is nice because I think I can hop up the leaderboard just a little bit. So very, very excited.
Well, Seb, any questions for Jacob following that awesome drive before we wrap things up?
None from me, but congrats on a podium finish, mate. Well deserved.
Thank you, man.
Any,
Very, very happy.
It was an awesome drive, Jacob. It really was. Any last mentions from you for the stream before we wrap things up for the evening?
Nah, I think I'm just really excited for next race. I'm gonna keep working with these pedals, getting used to them, and hopefully I can do the same thing next week. I'd love to be at least top 5 at least every race. I want to bump myself up just a bit, and the constructors championship with Alfa Romeo, I want us to win. It's my first season in MRL. Be amazing to win. So that'd be amazing. So yeah, great race. Thanks for having me.
All right, Jacob, and of course, thanks for having. Thanks for racing with us, and we'll see you in the next one next week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jacob wrapping things up with us for tonight. We are not going to be having an interview with our race winner, Mr. TJ Spin. He does not make appearances in the commentary booth. No, of course, he is not available after the race. But with that, Seb, man, oh man, was it ever a good campaign here for the 11th round. Next week, we've got tons more coming in Spain, one of my personal favorite circuits. I really enjoy Spain. It's a really, really good time, a really fun circuit. If France was anything to go by, I think that next week very good. Especially considering, well, Seb, the championship battle continues in the same form that it started. 1 point in separation for our top 2 here in the championship for the Americas Tier 1 division. So there is still so much happening. And of course, massive shout out really quick to Mr. Ritzmax and B for the 5 Tier 1 gifted subs in the chat. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Maxime B. And yeah, Spain, eh? It's not a great racing circuit in real life, but that long main straight with the DRS certainly provides some good action to turn 1 all the way to turn 4. So we've got a championship on our hands, Striff.
Most definitely, and well, of course, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to head off with the outro, of course, and with a raid as usual, and we will see you for more racing action tomorrow with the MRL Tier 2 Racing Division.